your wild plants start, not just your garden, but the wildflowers will start, you know, out there in nature, which they're beautiful now, you know, but they'll start blooming. And of course, they're going to often choose wild plants. There's so many good things in wild native plants for them, and they'll start feeding on the plant, on the wild plants. They'll start feeding on your flowers when they start blooming, and they might not use the feeders as much, but you really helped them out a lot. And bees, honeybees, they love those feeders, but not all the time. Again, they'll come in and they'll clump and they'll socialize, and people are afraid, oh my God, I got bees in my feeder, the hummingbirds can't. Oh, that's not a problem. Hummingbirds figure out a way to get into the feeders, and they coexist. I've never known of a hummingbird that I've noticed got stung by bees. They just come back and forth and in and out, and that's what they do. They really do. They figure out a way to get in there. And then you've got all kinds of these little hoverflies. You've got something called sphinx moths. Do you get them here?
Yes.
A sphinx moth, the hummingbird moth. They look like hummingbirds, but they're a moth, and they have a little proboscis that go in and out just like a hummingbird. They love the feeders. So again, but they also love your flowers. So I figure, grow both. I have that in there somewhere. I say just grow all your beautiful pollinator plants and your feeder, and they make a choice, because nature has cycles, and nature will say, I want to feed up on this, and I want to feed up on that. Even the bees themselves, honeybees, get directions when they leave the hive for real to which plants to go to, so that they all bring back pollen and nectar from different plants, because they have different properties, which is why planting monoculture, a single kind of flower, or moving bee boxes around, which we'll get to, on a single kind of orchard is not healthy for them. They're like us, they need diversity. Honeybees really need diversity. And so if you have diversity in your garden, then you're creating more of a palette for everybody. And one thing I stress, if you decide to get a feeder, you can find non-GMO sugar out there. You can find organic non-GMO sugar out there, and it's not that hard. I don't know if you have a smart final. You probably can find it at a Trader Joe's. Probably Costco has it. I would suggest it highly, because sugar is there's GMO, created GMOs, geoengineering, whatever it is, geomodified, whatever, and it's also heavily sprayed. And so if you want to create it healthy, yeah.
And is it true in the feeders you don't need to have colored water?
You don't have to have colored water. Oh goodness, no.
That's what I thought.
Oh, they'll find you. And the hummingbirds don't just like red. That's what they're attracted to, but they like a salvia, whether a salvia is white, purple, red, pink, no. I don't know where came up with that idea. Yeah.
What kind of sugar was that you said?
Oh, if you can find organic cane sugar. It's regular sugar. You don't get brown sugar. But you just real simple. You could just look for it. There's a few companies that create it, and it's not that hard to find. It's a little more expensive than the white sugar. To me, it's well worth it. If we're gonna do this, let's just do it all the way. I don't think they need the dye. I don't think they need the pesticides and chemicals and sugar any more than we do. So that's what I suggest, and it's not hard to